Uh, Good day, good night, whatever time of day it is you're watching this. Um, this is Katie Oshiwanita with Harmonizing Journey to Realignment Seminar and Sessions. Awesome to see you guys. The topic is the finale, our final conclusion of Evolution of the Soul, Part 4 in HDR Insight. The Book of Revelations concerning the Emerald Founder's Eoni life cycles and the cultural epochs of the evolution of the soul. It's been a lot to get here. And the Book of Revelations was, for the longest time, kind of a confusing mystery to me. The document is heavily coded with secret meanings that I believe Rudolf Steiner, as well as the Voyagers 2 material, uniquely deciphered many symbolic hidden secrets of it. The ancients knew the importance of this current stellar activation cycle, or SAC, S-A-C, for thousands of years. We are right now, as I write, or speak, at the precipice of choosing what direction each of us will move forward in our evolution. Will we choose the service to self, Luciferic, harmonic, AI, transhumanist path of science? Not that science is bad, it's good to know, but not to be a religion. Or will you make the personal connection to your soul, spirit, multidimensional clan family of service to others, unity path? And as you know, the clan family is just kind of my term that I like to use, but everybody has their own higher self, what you want to, oversoul, I don't know, soul, oversoul. In this article, I looked at both Voyagers 2, Secrets of a Mentee by Ashiana Dean and Rudolf Steiner Press Audio YouTube channel about Revelations' relationship to the evolution of the soul. Hopefully, you will be more aware of who you are and how worthwhile and valuable your life is. And as usual, take what you like and leave the rest. It's kind of my perspective on the info. Okay. So looking at Voyagers again, Voyagers Secrets of a Mentee Volume 2, 2002 by Ashiana Dean, now Aureus. And I looked at, predominantly focus on pages 416 to 421 in the book. And I will have a link in the YouTube description to purchase. Actually, she's got volume 1 and 2 now available. And fingers crossed, I'm kind of wondering if she's going to finally get volume 3 out. So keep an eye out for that, because that will be huge, all the new information that's come through since volume 2. According to Voyagers, St. John the Divine, he was an Essene scripture writer working with blue flame holders to write the Book of Revelations. His particular vision was compromised due to his Jehovian, Anunnaki, divergent timeline, fallen bloodline lineage. They literally whispered through his whispered to him through his blood. The trumpets of God referenced in Revelations was an Atlantean code word for the subspace sonic Mayan field projection technology. Since pre-Atlantean days, the Jehovian Anunnaki has used it as a remote range weapon system. I don't think that was organic. I don't think that was organically what it was used for, but that's what they took it over and what they've been doing with it. One purpose is to insert into Stargate 12, which in the Book of Revelations would be referenced as Elam, during a stellar activation cycle. And note, and that's usually my little 12 cents worth, This trumpet I think that the trumpet technology really was from Lemurian times, my feel. And when they came through the portal from the future back down into the past, they came in initially in Lemurian and Atlantis, because time is simultaneous, so they can utilize the time portal systems. And I think they took it down thin and then used it in Atlantis, but that's just, again, my opinion. Okay. The hyperdimensional cones, or HD-C, are standing conical scalar wave clusters that were embedded into the Earth's crust. So they took over the original seals. They inserted these hyperdimensional cones, or HDCs, standing conical scalar wave clusters, that were embedded into the Earth's crust, mantle, and planetary shields during earlier Atlantean periods by Jehovian Anunnaki / Anna Melchizedek for One World Order, OWO, 22,326 BC, stellar activation cycle, or SAC. These HDC interfaced with the phantom matrix 8th sphere, causing the crack in the wall of time, and the HDC dove apin. So kind of the current symbology with the Jehovians of their dove symbology is really kind of tied to this. Became fully up and running by 10,500 BC with the opening of the Phoenix wormhole that amped the charge. And they would be known as the Four Horsemen in the Book of Horsemen, not the horses, but the horsemen in the Book of Revelations. So the trumpets are part of that cone technology. Okay. The four horses of the apocalypse, and again, this is Voyager's material within those pages that I said. Okay. So the four horses of the apocalypse represent 4 out of the 12 natural stellar currents, the carrier wave frequency corresponding to the first 4 of the Earth's natural 12 Stargate axitonal lines. The 7 HDC Jehovian seals were inserted in the Earth's star crystal seals of 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 11, AK also known as Arcturian stellanite crystal pylon implants. Each HDC represents a rider for the Earth's natural carrier wave seals. And keep in mind, as I'm talking about, and I'll say it again a little bit later, I'm talking about the planetary seals and structure, that also corresponds to our body. See, the biopede interface system, you cannot separate the planet from the human world. Integral parts of each other. Okay. The Earth Alliance Guardian Team, run by Ah-yah. Okay. I know at times I reference the White Hats Earth Alliance. I think there's a relationship, but not with Eyugha. Eyugha has her own team. It's also part of the Earth Alliance, and she does her work. Okay. And she did a lot of work in the year 2000, over a number of years, to kind of to shut down the Jehovian riders, as the Earth's natural crystal seals were activating for the current stellar activation cycle in preparation for the 2012 stellar activation SAC to begin. And then note, okay, yeah, just stressing again, when we're talking about there are corresponding seals in our personal human templates due to the biopede interface system between Earth and all life on it. So whatever is going on with the planet, life receives it, vice versa. Enough of the life on the planet takes on something, and it will then be seeded into the grids, particularly when you have a highly coded person that was infiltrated and was designed to step down codes into the grid. So a lot of us got our indigos, got our asses handed to us, especially during like Lemuria times and Atlantean times, when we had these energies coming in and we didn't know what the heck was going on, and a lot of people got affected and ended up coding this stuff into the grids and into the body. Okay, we're now going to look at Rudolf Steiner in regards to, he's anthroposophy, but really to me he really gets into the esoteric of Christianity, which is the ancient initiation science of how we can integrate our physical body and spiritual bodies and ascension mechanics. And I will have the link as well down below to get into his YouTube channel. Very helpful information as usual. Rudolf Steiner's article, The Seven Seals and Their Unsealing, okay, by Rudolf Steiner, audio YouTube, April 20th, 1919. Recording was used to portray the esoterica meaning to the apocalypse. We are at the beginning of the war against all, which many people currently call the information war, and I think it'll cycle out this cycle and then start kind of into the next cycle, but then as we really get going into the next cycle, it will eventually end, and I will talk about that in a minute. Okay. Steiner, at the beginning of the war, says, at the beginning of the war against all, you will hear a call from the from the Christ Spirit, or as I say, Christos, that will live on in the message to the churches. The soul, and actually, I'm saying it was what Steiner had, but actually he's quoting the original document. So, you will call from the, okay, so that, the soul waits for the seals to be released 7 times. And I'll just read it from the beginning. So, at the beginning of the war against all, you will hear a call from the Christ Spirit, or Christos, that will live on in the message to the churches. The soul waits for the seals to be released 7 times. Each will give gift of the 7 epochs written in our souls. Okay. Note, these ages or cycles also spoken of in the evolution of the soul part 3 represent different qualities of man's development. One example is the development of the chakras when correlated to DNA strands 1 through 7. These 7 seals, vortices, chakras, DNA are spiraled, cycled continuously through each of the 7 epochs and expressed in each era. Right, 7 eras of an epoch. We currently hold the records with these seals within us to eventually be fully activated into the new angelic human hierarchy. And I looked up the word hierarchy, the origins of it, and I got the first sacred ray of light, and then I further translated into the rainbow ray. Okay, so I don't get in, I don't think Steiner did particularly either, of this hierarchical control system that is an overlay of the original ancient esoteric of Christianity, okay? Or another way of saying it is, of the hierarchy is Christos 12-stranded, okay? According to Steiner, in the Bible, the book of Genesis, it lists the generations numerically transmitted through the blood consecutively in time, a chronicle of history, in other words. So the term of the book of the Apocalypse is the 7 seals that are enumerated sequentially. Okay, so it's not going to be all activated at once. It's going to boom, 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 boom. Right. The Lamb reference is again the Stargate 12. alone will open the book of 7 seals in consecutive order of time to be handed down. So basic Keylonic science, okay? All right. The book of Revelations within us, right? Bound and ordered by the 7 seals, or star crystal chakra seals, will become unsealed after the war against all, to be read outwards on your forehead in continents. Our spiritual achievements, or lack thereof, will be activated within our personal and planetary seals. Each epoch gave us qualities to be expressed in the book of life from age to age, or cycle to cycle. In the Eyugha of man, what each age offers is written in the souls of men's and women's, or mankind's, spiritual achievements. There will be an imaginative symbol connected with and there was an imaginative symbol connected with each age, because the spirit realm is more with imagination than it is with actual words. These symbol codes represent the stages for the initiate to decipher for victory over the things of the sense world, or material. He will become a victor of the spirit. So in the 6th epoch, we will cycle through the 7 seals and corresponding epochs to spiritualize. So in other words, these 7 seals progressively open throughout this cycle. I said 6th epoch, but I think I meant actually the next cycle, the next era in the current Post-Atlantian Epoch. Okay. So in other words, these 7 seals progressively open throughout this cycle. But remember that you will not make it if you do not learn to or activate the DNA progressively throughout these past epochs. This is where karma is a big bitch. Your only chance is to embody the blood of Christ, or Christos, which is your 12-stranded DNA, within the ancient Christian esoteric or Keylontic science from the original Mahabharata text, which Eyugha Ashidani is pretty much in her Keylonic science work, light body work, has, I'm totally spacing on what else it's called, but anyway, that information. So we have it available, no big deal. Okay, so now we're going to look at the Emerald Founders Eyugha life cycles of the Post-Atlantean cultural epoch. So looking at and again, previous post went all through this. So I'm just sort of reiterating some of it again in a little bit more depth and detail, okay? So the Kali-Yuga, in regards to our current Post-Atlantean Epoch cycle, we have the Indian era. The Indian mind turned away from the physical world and towards the spiritual, the victor over senses. The symbol is the horse's head of intellect. Again, our 4 horsemen. So we start out with the white horse. Spiritual intelligence came forth, and he sat on the horse with a bow and a crown given to him. So we have our rider. He went forth conquesting and conquering. So again, this is Steiner's perspective information. Now looking at Voyagers. So the white horse carrier wave seal, or crystal seal, 1 is D11 and 12. So it's D12 is white. D11 is kind of a pale silver. So that's where we get the white horse reference. So the D11, D12, silver white, Mahoric light spectral located, and this is where it activates at for the planet Nantes, France, 0.1 east by 47 degrees north, and then the Jehovian HDC seal rider implant northeast is located northeast of Quebec, Canada. Actually, tonal 7 vertical, latitude 47.08 degrees north. Okay. And then note, the first symbol is the horse that symbolically represents the intellect, the brow, right? Or intellect brow crown of the horse's head, D1112, being conquered the root tribal chakra, connecting in. So it can then. The next cycle is the Eyugha, the Persian era, the conquest of matter, the symbol of the sword that can cut out what is sick or not wanted, seeing good and evil, light and dark, black and white in the world. Okay, and that's symbolized by the red horse. The one who sat on him was given the power to take peace from the earth to kill one another. Those not worthy of taking the ascent of mankind, he was given a sword to purge the unwanted or unworthy. Well, it can be dysfunctional and functional depending upon who's using it. It's the HDC writer. Natural cycle. Okay, so the Voyager's expression of it, of the red horse carrier wave Earth seal to D12 and D1, which would be D1 is red. Light spectra is near St. Helena Island, South Carolina, USA, which I'm not too far from there. 10 degrees west, 17.65 degrees southwest. And then the Jehovian HTC seal implant rider is located near the border conjunction of Chile, Peru, Bolivia, and it's A7 vertical latitude 18.1 south. And that's from Voyagers. Note, second symbol of the sword, symbolically purging sacral sex connections, relationships, and the creation of sin, the disconnect or cutting out the divine feminine, which would be about right during Lemuria. Actually, initially. Okay. Of that cycle. Or epoch. Okay, the next one is Ah-yah, the Chaldean Egyptian era, the symbol of the scales of measurement. The black horse. He that sat on the black horse had balanced the scales measure of wheat for a penny in his hands. The Voyagers, the black horse carrier wave Earth seal 3, D11 and D12, density 3. A blue, black, and silver black light spectra. It is located south of Sofia, Bulgaria, 23.9 west by 41.8 north. Jehovian HTC rider implant is around Cape Cod, USA, A7 vertical latitude 41.78 north. Voyagers. Note. Third symbol is the scales, symbolizing the measurement of value, solar plexus, Ra, intake, atavistic of divine solar wisdom. So that meeting as we're moving up the chakra system, making that connection. Okay, the next one is Eyugha, the Greco-Roman era. Spiritual life of immortality of the ego. Everything is doomed to fall away from the 3D world. The symbol of the fish donating the time of Christ. So, pale horse, death and hell followed him, but those that follow Christ, eternal life, ascend to the I Am. Steiner. Voyagers, pale horse, carrier wave, Earth, seal 8, D6 and 7. Pale, density 2, semi-etheric, and density 3, etheric, indigo, violet light spectrum. It's located southwest Las Palmas, Canary Islands. The Jehovian HTC implant writer, located east of Nassau, Bahamas, A7 vertical latitude 24.92 north. It leads the Earth directly into the Phantom Arcturus matrix through our Phantom Earth 8th sphere matrix. Okay, if we're not careful. Okay, I'll go down there. Okay, Revelations 6:7 warns, when the fourth Jehovian seal releases the rider named Death upon a pale horse, takes peace from the earth with hell, Phantom Earth matrix, expands through the Earth planetary shields via Vulcan Phoenix wormholes and various FAA pin systems. Again, that's Voyager's material. Noting she went through with her team back in 2000 and cleared a lot of that. And actually, we've had some recent things in the last few years that kind of reactivated some of that, and that's for another day. But anyway, we're good overall. Note, the fourth symbol of death and rebirth is symbolized by figure 8, the fish symbol of the Christos, heart, Terra, astral love bonding of two worlds. You can spiral down into the abyss or spiral up into the eternal first creation. Okay. It actually got a nice little chart in Voyager's actually on that. I wish I could remember that page though. I'm thinking of it now. Okay. Ka-le-iana. So we were doing Kale, or we were in the Eyugha. We are now looking to go into the Iana, cycling back up, right? Spiritualizing. We've materialized, and now we're doing the cycle of materializing on a bigger cycle. Okay. So we are currently in the current Germanic age, or English-speaking people. The development of the consciousness soul of the intellect. Who is now learning true intellect is not through the brain reflection abstract. Okay, let me say that again. The development of the consciousness soul of the intellect. Okay. Who is now learning true intellect is not through the brain reflection transduction sequence intellect abstract thinking apparatus. It is through the actual etheric light body of pure thinking within the morality of the supersensible world. Our intellect horse's head can no longer take us where we need to go. We've developed the brain, intellect, physical body, interface with the etheric body. We got that down pat. Now we're going into a new cycle of the Iana, of spiritualizing all of that. We're going into the astral body and the I spirit body and on out to oversoul, soul, oversoul, on out. And I'm just, I'm sorry. I don't know if you can hear that as bad as I can. Okay. Alright, hopefully that will be better. Okay. Alright. The fifth cultural age can no longer, okay, so I said, well, I'll say it again. Can no longer be symbolized by the intelligence horse's head. A new symbol for those who follow the seven spirits and seven stars out astrological ages needed to be used. Know those clothed. I can say it. Know those clothed in the white garment of eternal spiritual life. White garment would be our light body structure, the etheric body connecting into higher levels. The light body structure. Okay. The fifth seal under the altar, those who, and we're getting a bit more into this, we're getting back into Steiner. The fifth seal under the altar, those who were slain by the word of God because of their testimony in a loud voice. How long holy, well, actually he's referencing the actual text of the Apocalypse. their testimony in a loud voice, how long, holy and true, dost thou not judge and avenge our blood, DNA, on them that dwell on the earth? White robes, etheric white spirit body were given to them. They should rest yet for another season, assimilate, activate. The physical form, sense, materialistic way of strictly being body dies off to them to become a spirit man body, Atman, aka Maharata. So the Jehovian seal is 5, which is, again, we're getting back to Voyagers. Souls of the slain, and this is located geographically in Copiapo, Copiapo, Chile, 70 degrees west by 26.9 degrees south. The souls under the pulpit are being held. Okay. This is a version of saying it. And then note. The 5th symbol represents the light body activation gestation period of shedding the old physical sense body to move into the Terra Angelic Throat Communication Clarity Density 2 Harmonic Universe 2. Breaking through the net barrier, locking us into density 1, or sadly being locked back into it. Much depends on how one does in the opening of the first 4 seals, right? And I thought it interesting. The words altar and pulpit above, referenced above, as well as the church, both are considered, both the pulpit and the altar are considered sacred spaces as meeting places between this world and the spirit, right? One holds the sacred objects, right, the altar, and one is where one speaks, right, throat chakra, D5. This is a transition point that we can either be stuck in or rise out. Will we repeat the Eyugha cycle again? Right? We keep cycling through that a lot. Or make it into the Eyugha cycle, spiritualizing back up. And then a church, in its original meaning, is not a building. It's the body of Christ. So we'd say our Christos or our 12-stranded DNA. So it makes the above make a little bit more sense. And that was what at least St. John was able to kind of convey without any distortions. So, too many from his blood. Alright, so next we have the Shalayana, and that would be our future Slavic sixth era, the time of brotherly love and the war against all ends. The fight between the base root ego and the I spirit ego self ends. This will be seen within oneself and projected into the world around us, right? In this time, we will open consecutively the first 4 seals of the intellect evolution lived in each era and, according to Voyagers, lived on the earth itself, right? The cycles through. The 6th seal, okay, the sun, and again, this is more, well, I think, actual wording of the Apocalypse through Steiner. So the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. This is an expression of the transformation of taking in or becoming the sun and the moon. They will the ancient sun and moon cycling back in with the earth. Again, we're not rock bottom solid. We're not a planetoid. What else to say? The spheres of energy will merge back together. So yeah, this is an expression, again, I'm going to repeat what I said. So this is an expression of the transformation of taking in or becoming the sun and the moon, D4 astral, balancing force between giving life and the retarding or holding forces as the cycles through the earth. So sun is more the giving, and moon is astral, is more retarding, more holding, more magnetic. Sun more electrical, astral more magnetic. The 7 ancient stars are Saturn, Sun, and we're talking ancient Saturn, Sun, Moon, Jupiter, Venus, and Vulcan, globe stages of evolution. Spheres, energetic spheres, not the physical thing you look in a microscope. You know what I'm saying? To look at out in the quote-unquote star system. That's not the same thing. Okay. Man has evolved through ancient Saturn warmth, ancient sun fire, elements of the bringer of life to the moon, astral dreamlike state of desires and wants that became crystallized elemental beings of earth. The moon and the sun eventually were released slowly from the earth. The moon's sphere will once again cycle through the, and again I talked about in the previous article, cycle through the earth, supposedly through this time cycle. There will also be a point when the earth will evolve into Jupiter and eventually be released from there and will become something else. That again was Steiner. The Jehovahans, or Steiner information. The Jehovahans Seal 6, this is Voyagers. Great earthquake, Chile, Peru, border 70 degrees west by 18.1. I don't know what I had after that. Okay, I've got 1.5. Maybe I was trying to say 1. I don't know. Anyway, in that general area. Okay, so in Voyagers it says the slain is placed into hell. So we know that's Phantom Matrix, aka Sphere Voyagers. So that could happen. There's going to be probably some that will happen to. Note 6 transfiguration to new form, preparing for Terra Angelic Realm H2, pineal vision D6. The transfiguration from matter base to becoming semi-etheric base. D4, D5, D6 basically represents the higher self, which is Terra, when I reference it, okay, or the angelic realm, which could be, I want to say, angel, archangel, and archai from a different perspective, at least as far as I can figure out at this point. Okay, so next is Ah-yah, 7th age American, lukewarm, okay, also correlates with the Venus epoch, and again, see Evolution of the Soul, Part 3, Steiner, for that. Jehovahans Seal 7 of these, and this is Voyagers, Jehovahans Seal 7 of the 7 angels and the 7 trumpets located off the coast of Charleston, South Carolina, USA, 70 degrees west by 33 and 13 north. They create the living dead within the new phantom earth matrix they created. So again, that was what they were wanting to get done. Note, this may correlate to Gaia's oversoul level or fully evolving into the Terra HU2 angelic realm. A transition point from one epoch to the next, or one era or density plane to the next, is usually a transition point. And Steiner actually gets into that more in detail of cycling from one to the next. But that's a whole other topic. Okay. Okay, in summary, We're, we're almost there. Oh, actually, we're doing pretty good timing-wise. Okay. The seven seals is an outpicturing of our choices throughout our lifetime during Atlantis and merging into the Post-Atlantian Epochs to our current age. The seven trumpets represent how we have altered over time. We have had both natural and inorganic forces afoot in the evolution of humanity's soul. Okay. Sorry. The next 6th and 7th ages will be lived out in terms of whether we have chosen to harmonize and be our brother's keeper, bonding of root base ego HU1 and the spirit Eyugha HU2 and beyond, aka also known as symbolically as the Cain and Abel story, which according to Steiner makes sense. Or did we choose to be in wrath and follow an immature, childish, self-centered, me, materialistic life to fratricide the inner brother, right? One takes us to the full heights of being a spiritualized solar system, and the other, in our wrath, will be hardened into a shell of a being to be cast down into the abyss of phantom earth of AI transhumanism, where Lucifer and Ahriman, or we could say the Ana Elohim and Draco and other fallen angelic humans abide. Okay. There is a compassion, though, that we, as the all that is, God Source First Eternal Ah-yah, have given ourselves to mitigate the darkness that has prevailed through free will choice over the centuries. The original Initiation Science of Keylonta has been gifted back to Earth. Also, we were blessed by Jeshua J12, aka Christ, through sacrificing his Bi-Veca-coded blood into the earth. We have the natural gift if we choose to activate it in our blood by our actions. And also, I didn't put it in here, but the failsafe host is another part of current mechanics that I would love to see in her Voyagers 3 book. But anyway, living an authentic, heart-based, right, connecting into D4, which speaking, vision, seeing life will keep your consciousness at least connected to your spirit, keeping you from going down the abyss, right? Then, how evolved, awake, and aware do you want to be? The spiritual sides will take you to the farthest and highest that you want to go, right? So again, people that are afraid of falling or blah, 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 just be authentic to yourself, to your heart, spirit, be good peoples, that kind of thing. You'll be good. I wouldn't get into too much symbolic fallen stuff like flowers of life and that kind of stuff, but most average people don't get into that anyway. So for your family and friends that you're worried about, if they're good people, they're not gonna fall in the abyss. Okay. And I would really love to hear your thoughts on the topic. Please comment below, and if I have enough comments too, I may do a follow-up session on YouTube, answering things. And actually, I've been really thinking about doing a Q&A, and it just keeps coming up more and more to me to do a Q&A, so I may do a Q&A, a live Q&A on YouTube. So if that is something that you guys are interested in, please give me let me know, and we can work when to get that to happen. Okay. And I also wanted to make a little note. It's probably obvious, but for legality's purposes, I just want to stress it. I, Katie Osho-Nita, HDR Seminars LLC, are in no way affiliated with Erase Productions or Rudolf Steiner Press Audio or any of that. I just use the material. I love it. Thank you for following me through this evolution of the soul journey sequence. If you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't. And I just love you guys so much. I'm the HDR Navigator, helping others to connect with their multidimensional clan family. I have a link here for if you're interested in private sessions, my classes, HDR seminars. I also have two books, well, two Waking in Elenia series books that I've written, and also donations are greatly appreciated, and that's about it. So, and I made it in 45 minutes, under an hour. Thank you. Love you guys. You have a wonderful day, and we will talk soon. Thank you so much.